Before we begin, I want you to pause for just a moment. If something inside you feels heavy, if you've been carrying emotions you can't explain, if you sense there's a part of you that keeps repeating the same patterns no matter how hard you try to change, then this channel isn't random for you. Subscribe now, not because it helps me, but because what we talk about here is something your subconscious already knows you need. This is a space for the parts of you you don't talk about, the parts you hide, the parts that still ache. Now, let me tell you a story. Most people think trauma lives in memory, but trauma actually lives in avoidance. It hides in the moments you overreact, in the relationships you sabotage, in the anxiety that shows up for no reason, in the numbness you call being strong. Imagine your mind as a house. Most of us only live in the front rooms. The polite thoughts, the positive affirmations, the version of ourselves we show the world. But there's a room in the back, a dark room. You locked it a long time ago. Inside it are the emotions you weren't allowed to feel, the anger you swallowed, the shame you learned to wear quietly, the fear you had to outgrow too early. Shadow work begins the moment you stop pretending that room doesn't exist. Here's the truth no one tells you. Healing doesn't happen by thinking positive. It happens by listening to what hurts. The reason your trauma still speaks through your life is because it was never witnessed. No one sat with you when you were overwhelmed. No one taught you how to feel safely. So your subconscious learned one thing: hide it, survive, move on. But unhealed pain doesn't disappear, it waits. It becomes your triggers, your self doubt, your fear of being fully seen. Shadow work is not about fixing yourself, it's about finally telling the truth to yourself. Shadow work for healing trauma starts with one terrifying question: what part of me am I afraid to face? Maybe it's the version of you that feels unlovable. Maybe it's the anger you were taught was too much. Maybe it's the child inside you who still doesn't feel safe. When you sit in silence, when you stop distracting yourself, when you let the discomfort rise, that's when the shadow appears. Not as a monster, but as a messenger. Every shadow carries information. It shows you where you learned to protect yourself, where you had to harden, where you stop trusting. Healing begins the moment you stop fighting that part and start asking it what it needs. This is the moment most people turn away because shadow work asks you to feel what you avoided. But here's what happens when you don't turn away: the fear softens, the pain releases, the patterns loosen their grip. You realize something powerful. You were never broken, you were adapting. Your shadow isn't your enemy, it's the part of you that survived. And when you integrate it, when you bring awareness to the subconscious, your nervous system finally begins to relax. That's when change becomes natural, not forced, not exhausting, just aligned. If this video is stirring something in you, if you feel seen in ways that feel uncomfortable but real, then you're already doing the work. But deep subconscious healing needs guidance, structure, a safe container to explore what's been buried. That's why Awakening the Subconscious Genius exists, not as a quick fix, but as a companion through the inner darkness. It helps you understand why your mind reacts the way it does and how to gently rewire it without bypassing your pain. Your shadow doesn't want to control you anymore, it wants to be understood. If you're ready to stop running, if you're ready to turn pain into clarity, if you're ready to awaken the part of you that's been waiting quietly for permission, get your copy of Awakening the Subconscious Genius. The link is below. And if this spoke to you, subscribe to this channel because the journey inward doesn't end here, it's only just beginning.